After spending 5 years in the streets as a vendor, I realized that each man is in charge of whether they make it or break it in business. I've put together pragmatic business nuggets for entrepreneurs that have sustained me in the most uncertain economic times. Join me on this journey to impart this business wisdom to the movers and shakers. Together, let's build a strong network of entrepreneurs who break limits.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Ask Jerry the Shattered Vendor Show. My name is Shamisa Chikarate, I will be your host, and I have Jerry with me.
Hi Shami,
How
was
are
your
you?
week?
No, the week was great. This one was a bit slower than last week, but it was okay.
Alright.
Oh, the rains.
The rains.
The rains.
Okay.
We're in the middle of a cyclone, the rains.
Yeah.
Okay, so this week we're going to be talking about systems and just all the things that are needed in a business. All right. So our first point of our discussion is I want to build a system that allows for me to be away from my business for months and come back and find it still running. I like the find it still running part.
Still running part, yeah?
Yes. So like what kind of systems would we have to put in place to actually allow this person to come back and find their business still running?
Okay. Thank you. That is a nice discussion which we have today.
Okay.
So what I want to tell to our viewers is you need to build systems. Systems are fundamental. Don't let your business depend on people. People, they die. People, they disappoint. People, they change their mind over time because of certain scenarios. So it's the best which you can do is to always think systems first. Even when you're starting, always think systems. So for you to build that system now, it starts from even when you're registering that company.
Okay.
To say who is going to be my partner in business, who is going to be the other director, what is he bringing on the table, what agreements are we going to have as partners, because it is also as a part of a system.
Okay.
Whereby we are saying, I think most of the organizations which have died maybe natural death, it was because of boardroom squabbles.
Yes.
So what you need to do now is to first agree on the fundamentals of the business first. When I'm coming in, whether we're in a partnership,
Okay.
a partnership agreement or a shareholders agreement, what am I bringing on the table? What are you bringing on the table? Everything's supposed to
Do
be
we
clear.
share the same vision and
Do we
values?
share the same vision? Because some of the people, they just disagree. Someone is saying, for our business to boost, we need to go to a traditional healer.
Oh,
Someone
huh.
is saying, for our business to boost, we need to go to the church. Then a partnership is over. So first and secondly, it's of a paramount importance for you to divide to differentiate your business and yourself. Remember, when you register private limited, it's now its own legal persona. You are also your own legal person. So what it means, what I want to tell the people is that you are supposed to be on salary. Whether you're starting, most of the people, what they say is, no, I will just give myself $150 because the business is not yet making money. But you notice that these people, they are spending too much money outside now, which is like, I've consulted a client who was saying, I give my father some money.
From the business.
I give my aunt some money. I've got developments which are happening to my house. Where can I account?
Remember,
Yeah.
the business is not a bank for your
Yeah.
loans.
So they're saying now, how can I
Yes.
account this? But first place, are they supposed to get money from the business?
No.
But this guy is giving himself $150. But behind the scene, he's getting a lot of money which is unaccounted for.
Exactly.
How can you solve this? You need a salary which is enough to cater for your relatives. We don't need to know what you are doing at your home. We don't even want to know what you are giving how much you are giving your father, your mother. We don't want to know about that. As a business, you can do that using your salary, or you're going to do that after declaring a dividend. So after your revenue, your expenses, you get your profit, maybe you pay Zimra, you're left with your dividend. That is what you're supposed to spend. But most of the startups, what they're doing now, they're giving themselves a small salary.
And then they're just drawing from the business.
They're just drawing from the business, the drawings. What I just want to say to them is give yourself enough salary. That is part of the system. When the business is now growing, please hire an accountant. someone who you are going to empower, who is going to take care of all the funds in the business, not you. Because the moment you start taking care of your own money, it means maybe the money is going to share the same pocket. Maybe that money is going to share the same safe, which is a big disadvantage now because we are now mixing funds. So if you've got an accountant who is going to handle maybe all your bank accounts, who also is going to handle maybe all your cash, it means that business is never going to what? You are never going to steal from your own pocket or to steal from your business. What I'm saying is what I'm also practicing.
You
because
need to give the accountant the responsibility and the authority.
Full responsibility and the authority
over that money.
Money.
They shouldn't be scared to tell you no.
Exactly. So the biggest problem now is you come in, you start bullying the accountant. Most of the accountants, they're not even accountants, they're clerks.
Yes.
Who are just there maybe to write small amounts, to disburse small amounts. Give the accountant a full responsibility. Those are the people who are going to protect you from your own business.
Yes.
So I've hired my accountant to protect me from myself. Because I'm the biggest threat.
To protect the business from you and protect you from the business.
Exactly.
Everybody gets protected.
Yeah. So what we say here at Ask Jerry, the chartered vendor, I will never tell you what I'm not practicing.
Okay.
This is what I do at my company.
Practical advice.
Exactly. This is what I do. I don't even know the passwords of my bank accounts. I have to ask my accountants because they are the ones who are actually handling that. They've got full responsibility in terms of considering who should they pay first. Maybe what they just do, they just sent me the payments they're going to do. Yes, I just say no, I think you can go ahead. But most of the times they now know what to do, paying rentals, paying their salaries, etc. I'm not involved. That's how you are going to build systems. Then also, that's on the accounting side.
Yes, that's
on the sales side also, you're supposed to have a system also which is running. What I've noted is if you ask someone that who are your best 20 clients, they don't even have a database. The database is their phone. I'm saying to the entrepreneurs out there, please keep your own database. You should have the controls. Even when you're hiring someone as your salesperson, don't leave them using their personal phone to do business with their phone, with their own phone. The reason being, when they leave the organization, they'll end up
have that issue with that lady who kept getting her clients stolen by employees.
They'll store the clients. They'll also you can lose your database, lose all the clients because of that. Number two, the handover and the handover takeover. Remember, I said a system is supposed to be the one which is working, not individuals. If you've got everything in the system, it means you can just, when someone leaves your organization, someone can just take over.
Yes,
without
it's easily replaceable.
Exactly.
Because the system is clear, everybody knows what's supposed to be
But
happening.
when we are relying on an individual, that's when most of the entrepreneurs, most of the business owners are held hostage in their own companies because someone has got the data of the whole organization.
And if you let them go, you lose that information.
You lose that information. So I want them to build systems, even in the sales, even be it manufacturing, be it operations, and we should learn to document our systems.
And our processes, yes.
Our processes must be documented. If you are processing, maybe ours is service, I'm trying to renew a tax clearance for a client, I should have period. How much time does this job spend? I have to spend 10 hours. Number one. Number two, who is going to do that? Do we need 2 people? Do we need 3 people? Who are we going to deal with? So all this information, if it's in there, when someone is going to inherit that department, they just have to look at the policies and the documents, and it's easy. That's why you see most of the big organizations like your INSCOs, you will never see a chicken in Mutare. It's the same as the chicken in Harare. Because why? They are building their organization based on systems
and they're very strong
and not based on
operational manuals.
I still remember, I think way back, INSCO used to hire and fire, which I don't think is a bad thing. When someone is not up there, they're supposed to go. I think per day they're hiring 50, firing 50. But you will never see any change. Because why? A system, the policies, the manuals, everything is in the system. Yes. So we really want, and remember guys, a system is not a software. That's what misconception.
Mistake a software for a system.
We should have a way we are doing things here, even
Regardless
if
of the
we exactly. Even if we are writing in our counter books, we should have a uniform way of doing things. If our branch in Mtara is writing, maybe using a counter book, our branch in Kwekwe is supposed to be also doing that. That's a uniform system.
Yes, and if you're starting with the date then details, it needs to always be date then details, not details then date.
Exactly.
Or, I'm changing it because I understand it better this way.
And what our entrepreneurs must also know, Shami, is clients follow good systems.
Okay.
Clients are ready to part with a lot of money for a good system. The reason why the owner of a Mercedes-Benz, why they like going to Zimoko, is because they know that everything is going to be done systematically. But when they go to Msiama Benz,
yes, a car that was supposed to be done in 3 days, now it's, oh, sorry, this guy didn't come, so...
Or I'm fixing another car, etc. You're giving all those sorts. Exactly.
I had to go.
When you go with your maybe spare, when you've got your tires, etc., your accessories, you can miss some because why? There's no system.
Yes.
So I'm saying when you want to challenge Zimoko, when you're in Benz repairs, maybe you're selling Mercedes-Benz, you need to challenge the systems. People follow systems.
Systems, exactly.
I think we once talked about chicken in. The reason why the small, I've got a daughter. Why she is interested more in chicken in than the chips and chicken which are cooked at home is because she knows that chicken in is a better system. So if a 6-year-old knows that chicken in is a better system than that system which we have here, what about a grown-up men and women? We should build systems. Our businesses will only thrive if you've got a system.
You've got proper systems in place. So in order for your business to be able to function without you, there need to be systems in place that are not dependent on people. It should just be people get plugged into a system, not the other way around.
Exactly.
Okay.
And also, on that subject, you need to test them.
Test your systems.
Go away, switch off your phone for 2 days.
And come back and see if there's water.
Exactly. So you need to test now and then. You go after maybe you can a day, a week, 2 weeks, a month, you're not there, 2 months, you're not there. You're now testing the systems. Not that you're always in the office from 1 January to 31 December. You're never going to test the system because people always rely on you. They always come to you for decisions.
Yes.
And this is even decision making. When we hire talent, let us not teach talent what to do.
Let's allow talent to do what they're supposed to do.
Let us empower them, give them responsibility, check on them when it's necessary. Not to say always, every day I need my report, every day you should write a long 2-3 pages report to give you. It won't build a system because they're always relying on you to make decisions.
Yes, and you're holding them back.
Exactly.
All right, well, this second question is actually very much in line with the first one. This is about how do we separate personal money and company money for the entrepreneurs, because there's some, as we're talking about SMEs, it's not everyone that's going to have 5, 6, 7 employees. For some, it's going to be, the norm, the one-man team that we talked about, the one who's handling the sales, the accounting, the human resources, the procurement, everything. For such a person, what are your strategies basically for separating your personal money and company money? Because in this instance, you can't have your accountant be the one who's holding those things.
Yeah, I think what we must also tell the person who's operating on his own or on her own is please employ. It's difficult to build systems when you're operating as an individual. The reason why these companies are growing is not because they first grew and they started recruiting. They are where they are because they were recruiting.
They recruited first, then they grew.
Exactly. But the challenge we have now, have you ever heard that someone will say, hire an accountant, then they'll say, I'm still small, I can't afford an accountant, you see?
Or maybe you'll be feeling like you can't afford them. That's money out of your pocket that you could be using for other things.
Shami, we shouldn't recruit people to give money. We should recruit people to give us money. So if you find yourself recruiting someone who is draining the company, that's a wrong recruitment. But if you're going to recruit a good person, they will leave you with a larger chunk of the money, they'll get their small salaries, they'll pay themselves. So if you're going to recruit a good salesperson, they're supposed to pay themselves. If you're going to recruit a good marketer, they're supposed to pay themselves. When you recruit someone, your revenue is supposed to grow if that person is doing his job or her job. So someone who is doing trading alone, please recruit. There are no excuses for that.
Okay,
Recruit even when you don't afford the salary. You don't have to have a reserve of a salary somewhere in order for you to bring someone in your business. So please recruit. When you recruit, magic will automatically happen. The business will start to grow.
Okay.
Then, on the issue of separating their personal funds and company funds, number one, what they're supposed to do, every company is supposed to be registered.
Okay.
Number two, you're supposed to have a company bank account. Number three, also open your own personal bank account, because we need to transfer your personal funds are not supposed to be paid by the company funds.
But some of us believe, in the bank of under the mattress.
No, that doesn't work.
Why do you want us to have
Yes, it can work. Yes, we're living in Zimbabwe. We've got an inflationary environment. I concur with that some of the people, they are using their under the mattress. When you are using under the mattress, keep some of the money maybe yours in the wardrobe. The company bank is under the mattress.
Always separated.
Yes, you're not supposed to mix the two. When you are paying, maybe when you're paying a supplier,
yes,
use under the mattress. When you're paying your mother, use the money which is in the wardrobe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you always need to separate.
Yeah. Then also, it seems simple to say separate money, your money and company money. It seems very, very simple, yes, but it's difficult.
It's not.
Practically, it's very difficult. So what I also want to urge people, don't let your company grow and start introducing systems. Just when you're starting,
create the systems first.
Yes, when you're registering your company, Shami, using your personal funds.
Yes.
You have withdraw funds from your personal pocket you've given to the company. Are you going to because it's supposed to be clear. Yes. Are you investing into the company as part of your equity, or the company is going to pay you back? You see?
Yes.
It's supposed to be clear. Record all the initial costs of your business. Have you done that? Okay, anyway, you are saying we are supposed to record everything that will actually help you now, maybe in actually differentiate to their company. Not to say when I've got 10 people, when I've got 20 people, I now want to separate myself from the business.
It won't
That
work,
is very
because
difficult.
Now you've already have these horrible systems
There's now a
place
habit.
and terrible culture. You can't change it.
And also you have now spoiled your wife or your husband that you can easily get money from the company. Yeah.
And it will never work.
Yeah.
All right, so it's always important to just separate your company money from your personal money. We'll take a short break and then we'll be right back. Welcome back to the second segment of Ask Jerry, the Chartered Vendor. In this segment, we have a question from John.
Hi, John.
Hey, John. Dear John, but anyway, hi, John. So what John is asking for is about bank loans. He's saying that I have applied for a bank loan for my business, and I prepared everything, the business plan, and I even had collateral security to use, and yet my loan was denied. Can you help me, do better and actually be able to get a bank loan, or give me advice on what else I can do if I can't, get this bank loan?
Thank you, John, for that question. I think this would depend, because we would have also want the reasons from the bank. Sometimes I wonder what is happening in our banking system. Sometimes the loan is denied and you're never told the reasons.
Told why?
So you
don't know what to fix.
Yeah, but maybe fine. What I think is like what we said initially. Every customer, supplier,
yes,
be it banks, investors, they want to deal with a good system.
Okay.
Everyone wants to deal with a good system. The problem with some of our entrepreneurs is we now want to build a business plan, a cash flow, and try to
manipulate the figures.
To cook or to manipulate the accounts.
Yes.
It doesn't work that way. It's easy for a seasonal accountant to make it worse, maybe a loan officer to see that no, these figures are not authentic.
They're not, yes.
Because the banks are not in the business of giving you money.
They're in the business of making money.
They're in the business of making money. So I think we must start by what do they look at, what do they really evaluate for them to give you a loan? Yes, you mentioned something about security. To say, okay, fine, if something goes wrong in this business, if you fire sell, maybe we're checking at the equity, the assets minus liabilities, will we be able to recover our money? That's the first question.
Yes.
Number two, is this business, the cash flow? Are they going to be able to trade? Because remember, they're not in the business of also grabbing your security or your assets.
Yes.
They want the cash flow for you to pay, because they're supporting you to pay your interest, to pay your loan back, your installments back. That's what they want to check. So the cash flows, the security, that is what can make you get a loan. So what I would tell you, John, is please start investing into good systems, making sure that the accounts which are you're taking accounts from, you're just generating accounts maybe from your accounting software. Yeah. If you've got a culture of maybe trying to get experts to just do your business plan, to do your cash flows, to do your accounts from nowhere, you're never going to get a loan.
Yes.
They will never support you. Or if you get that loan, you're going to have difficulties in trying to pay back. Because why? You're lying to yourself. You have maybe increased the revenue. You have maybe reduced the expenses in order for you to get a loan. You have lied that you can get a cash flow of 5,000, but whilst you're getting cash flow of 2,500, you're going to grab that loan, bring it into your business.
Yes.
Then you're going to fail and get out of business
because
altogether.
Now you can't pay back your loan.
So somehow maybe the bank is actually protecting you from you.
It's protecting you from yourself, and they're also protecting themselves from you.
Exactly. So we really need now to check. We don't really know the reasons of the bank. But
yes.
People, what we must know is investors, be it a microfinance, anyone who's going to invest into your business, they're going to check on the fundamentals.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, John, firstly, maybe you might need to actually have a discussion with the bank, find out what were their reasons for declining the loan, and try and have this discussion. It might be difficult, but you might have to go a couple of times until you find someone willing to talk to you and explain where things went wrong. 1, 2, your security. It's also important to know the value of your security to the bank.
That's true.
You might say, I have a stand, but you having a stand in Greendale and you having a stand somewhere in Chinoi in the middle of farmland, you will think you've got security because you've got deeds for that stand. But the value to the bank is how quickly can they offload the security that you have to get back their money. So there are a number of things that need to be looked at, but
100%.
Importantly, find out what exactly they didn't like about your request and then start from there. Okay, so our next question is about the importance of succession planning, in the company. A lot of CEOs don't want to train successors. They're afraid of being replaced, especially in some of these SMEs. Let's discuss how that is so important for the longevity of a business, for there to be a proper succession plan in place.
Yeah. Succession is very important, Sammy. Like my vision, the vision which I have, sometimes I might fail personally to achieve that whilst I'm still alive. But I might start a vision which can go even beyond you, like 100, 200 years.
Yes.
So if you're thinking, if you're a business person, like I'm thinking 100 years from now, I won't be there.
Yes.
So it would be selfish, it would be naive, or even stupid for me not to groom successors, for them to achieve.
To carry on
exactly.
that vision.
So I must always have a succession plan. Even in my organization, I've got a succession plan. There are a lot of young people I'm grooming for them to take over when I left. And also, sometimes I believe that when you spend 10 to maybe 10 years in the organization, 10 to 15 years, I think you've implemented everything which you wanted to implement. Exactly, like you've done everything. Take a break. So I believe, yes. So my plan personally is to say after 5 years, I'll leave as the CEO of M&J. Someone will take over. I'll just stay in the board, checking on what is happening or pursue other projects. Because sometimes you're going to be the one
who's holding
the company to actually grow. Who knows? Giving it to the next person, it can be even a multi-billion-dollar company. So succession is very, very vital. I think we've had a lot of businesses, especially in the transport sectors, with our mungas, with our
tender.
Our tender is still there at least, but we have some companies have disappeared. Your Chawasariras, those companies are no longer even in existence. So we are saying now, these people, the reason why they failed is because there was no proper succession plan. Everything was being done, and also it relates with what we're talking about, the systems, because everything was in their head. They are the ones who should, when they're buying buses, maybe one person was doing it. Everything was done secretly.
It was their vision and their dream.
It was their vision.
They were protecting it like a child.
Exactly. But you don't. What you should acknowledge is they've got expiring deaths.
Yes.
One day we're going to leave this earth, or one day or one way or another you're going to be sick even for a long period of time. You need someone who can easily take over, someone who you are grooming, or some people actually know how to run the systems when you are not available. So everyone should always plan with a succession plan. That is what helps this business. I've heard of Rooney's. That business, I think it was started by the great-great-grandfather, but the business is still going. Because why? These guys, they've got a plan always. When even they are raising their kids, the kid is actually groomed to take over the company. They are not left to just do other professions. Like even right now, if my daughter is going to be a doctor, it's going to be a nightmare because I don't even know any of Nyazungu who was a doctor. You see?
Well, isn't it okay for
she can
somebody
start,
to
but
try?
she will struggle. Do you know why?
Why?
I've got a client. He said he's a doctor.
Yes.
He said his father is also a doctor. He's a professor actually, doctors.
Right.
So he said, I didn't know why my father was pushing me to be a doctor. I wanted to be an engineer.
Okay.
So he failed intentionally. But the father said, no, you're going to be a doctor whether you like it or not. Go and train in UK. He had to train in UK because at lower points, I think at 18 points, what was required at the user, it was 15 points. So he did medicine, eventually became a doctor. Right now, most of the doctors are struggling because like the medical field is not, some are being paid very well, but others are struggling who didn't build maybe their systems, maybe some of them because of circumstances which are happening in the country and the economy.
Well, yes.
This guy said to me, I now know why my father said I should be a doctor. Because when he gets any patient, because he's a specialist.
All right.
So he's getting quality clients. Why? Because referrals were coming from the father. When he just mentioned his surname, people can relate because the father is always there.
Is that for your daughter to walk a path that you have already cleared?
I've already cleared.
And at least it's going to be easier for her. She'll meet her own obstacles,
exactly.
but at least there's stuff that you've already
exactly. When she just mentioned to Sharma, she say, no, oh yeah, Jerry, come here. Exactly. You see, it's easy.
The connections.
So you can get the business, but if she's going to try to be maybe the first astronaut, I don't know. Yes, some are going to be, some can be successful. Even soccer players, be it in sport, it's very easy for a son of a legend to get into these soccer teams, even when they are awful. Because why? They're just using, I think in teams like Barcelona, I remember Barcelona, all the sons of Lionel Messi, they're already signed by Barcelona. They don't even know whether these guys, they're going to be soccer players, but they're already signed. I know of, I think it's Gerard Piqué and Shakira. Their sons, they're already signed, and their sons and daughters, they're already signed with Barcelona for millions. Because why? Because of their parents. It's already a succession plan to say we're going to have a next generation of the Messis. So in companies also, we must assign the next generations of the Jerrys who be, and even in phases.
That can actually help the company grow.
The company grow.
All right.
Yeah.
So employers, do not be so terrified of, being pushed out, moved aside, and actually train quality quality successors that can take your business to the next level. Your business should not die with you. Your empire should not die with you. Always have proper succession plans in place. And we are now coming to my favorite segment, which is Insight into Jerry. I always say that this is my favorite segment because when you're trying to build something, especially in an environment like Zimbabwe, it helps to actually, get insight from someone who's walked that journey, someone who had no help from the beginning, and everything they did by their own strength. So today in Insight into Jerry, how do you handle critics? Everybody talks that, there is constructive criticism and all of that, and yet sometimes this criticism can be so harsh, especially now in this, era of social media. Any random person, probably someone who's never even met you, can still pick up their phone and type out that Jerry, you're talking nonsense.
Exactly.
Or he doesn't even know what he was doing. I knew him when he was in high school and he was the asthma kid.
Yeah.
So how do you handle that?
Thank you so much. I think criticism, I usually want to call them naysayers, because everyone is allowed to say whatever they want.
They want to say.
And usually it starts from, that's why even people are hesitant to post on social media, because whenever they're posting, they start thinking of the people.
Yes, if I put my business out there, I'm allowing someone.
Yeah, if I put any picture out there, you're starting, because people, they post for other people, they don't post what they like.
Okay.
So what I've done to myself was to say, through reading books, you've got certain mentors, which you like virtual mentors, you've got other people who have done it in America. People are also maybe using almost the similar strategies, or people who have been criticized before. Because yes, like it's when you start saying everyone at your company is supposed to come at 8:30, and anyone who comes after 8:30 is going to be penalized.
Yes.
People view you as a dictator. People are going to criticize you on social media, but that is what makes maybe the billionaires who are in America more successful than us.
That makes you the 1%.
Exactly.
And not the 99%.
So usually the 99% is always wrong. Most of the times, I like even in politics, if the majority was going to be allowed to vote, it was going to be a disaster in the world. But they've got a certain system now which disallow other people to vote, whereby maybe people who should vote are over 18 years old. People maybe who should vote, they're supposed to register. Even in America, be it in Africa, they try to have a certain percentage which determines who is going to lead the company or who is going to lead the country. So what I want to say is usually when you hear a lot of criticism, it means you're actually doing something good. And those who criticize you, they're the ones who actually applaud you when you carry on with your vision. Because when you start, people say you're crazy.
Yes.
When you start, people say, I think this guy is mad, he's never going to make it. I think he's demonic. They can say whatever they want, but I just want to push for my vision. Look at the bigger picture.
Especially in our culture, if you're successful, all of a sudden, you've got to have a big snake under your belt.
You've got a big snake, you've got, you're a thief, you're stealing,
yes,
or you belong to a certain political party. That is what they say, but this is all nonsense. I think last week actually I had someone from Lawayo, I'm forgetting her name. She sent a message. She wanted to apply for a job. So she said, when I checked on LinkedIn and I saw that you are the founder of M&J, all along I thought M&J was founded by a white guy. Because why? I said, this is a good comment because maybe the standards which we have
in her head
they are not for the black community, which means we are doing something good. Anyway, what I'm just saying is focus on the bigger picture, focus on the ball. Don't let people hinder you from achieving what you're supposed to achieve in your life. End of the day, it's your own life. You are the one. You can never, because most of the richest ideas where they are, they're in the graves. Because people fail to do what they were supposed to do here on earth. Because they were scared because of their parents. They are scared because they are groomed in a community which controls everything. When a lady grows up, when she's grown up, you're expected to get married.
Yes.
Sometimes you're getting married to an abusive husband. And the
Or
church,
someone will tell you to leave your
religion can also come in and say, no, you're not supposed to leave your husband. Even when he's abusive, people end up killing each other, dying because of what the community or what the public will say. So focus on what you really want to achieve. That's what I do. I want to achieve a dream of helping African entrepreneurs.
Yes.
I'm going to do it with or without some of my friends, with or without some of my relatives, because some relatives actually dump you because you are on a certain trajectory.
Exactly.
Some friends will actually even get out of your life because they've managed to choose another path. So what I just want to say to the people must just go out, do what you feel like you want to do. When you've got a talent, just go out, making sure that you expose your talent to the world. Who knows? Most of the people, you talk of your Kirsty Coventry's, they did it because of just swimming, you see? But maybe when she was doing that, she was facing a lot of criticism. You look at your Strive Masiwas.
Yes.
When he was talking of a dream of having everyone should have a SIM card, everyone should have a phone in Zimbabwe, people say they are crazy. Even the government or the authorities, they even made it hard for him to get the license. He was criticized, but right now he's a billionaire. So everyone is going to be criticized. Even if Jesus Christ was criticized, so who is Jerry to fear criticism?
That's very profound. Who is Jerry to fear criticism? Who are you to let your dream die because you are afraid of what the next person is going to say? Everyone, I think it's very important to just go out there, live your dreams. People will criticize, whether it's good, whether it's bad.
Have you ever
People
been
will always
criticized?
criticize. Yes, yes, I have. And sometimes it's painful.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to get up. And it's okay to sometimes just rest and recuperate from that criticism, but don't give up.
That's
just
true.
get up again and try again, and do what you were meant to do.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, everything will be okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us today. Please be sure to subscribe and like all the channels. If you have any questions that you would like answered, please leave them in the comments below.